Is it great to tune in? It'll give you that notification. We're running about 5 minutes behind, still waiting on our special guest. I didn't wanna keep y'all waiting too long, so I'm gonna put this on a hold here so you guys. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Tommy Lee Francis with the Morgan County Today. This is MoCo Today live at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday in the middle of the day. All you guys are out there working, I'm sure, working hard for the money so you can buy you a gallon of gas, right? So, as you guys know, we have lined up today special guest Tyrus. He's the NWA World Television Champion and a Fox News contributor, and he just got through writing a book, his first memoir, Just Tyrus. So he should be tuning in here. We're still waiting. There may be some technical difficulties on the other end, not sure. So before we get into the interview, let's just get into some good stuff. How's everybody doing? Make sure you're writing down in the comments and letting us know where you're watching from so that everybody that's tuning in can know. And all of you guys will be watching this later because I know some of y'all will be watching it when you get home from work today. We appreciate you tuning in too. You can still let us know where you're watching from. If you got any stars, make sure you drop them down there. And we are excited about the show today. It's going to be great. Hey, talent. It's a great day to be alive. So, have you guys heard any good dad jokes lately? I don't have any sound effects today. So, you guys already know about that. Sometimes I have to make my own stuff. So, here's our intro. Okay, he is finishing another interview, so he said give him just a second. No problem. Okay. So sorry if I keep looking down. I'm checking the phone and making sure everything's good. Let me send one more message here. How's everybody's day going today? I hope it's going great. It's going great here in East Tennessee. It is a beautiful day outside. A little bit of overcast. It's been raining. And so we are doing that. I hear all these trucks. You know, we had Mudding on the Mountain this past weekend on Saturday, and it was great. Lots and lots of people showed up for that. Did any of you guys get to go to Mudding on the Mountain? Let us know there in the comments. Hey, what's up, Justin Hamby from Lynn North City? I hope you're rolling safe out there in the world. And Cassidy, all right, working. That's good. All you folks are tuning in while you're working. You rascals. Okay. I'm sorry, I have to let them know. This is pretty exciting. I'm as excited as all you guys are to see what Tyrus has to say. We're excited about him tuning in and coming in for the interview here. I guess he's coming in from New York City. I'm not real sure. We'll ask him because he'll be on here shortly. Hey, James from Hendersonville, North Carolina. So you guys know you can ask questions down there. When I'm interviewing, I don't know if I get to see everything. I'm glad you cleared that up, JH. You're off today. So anyway, you guys can ask questions if you've got a favorite Tyrus moment or Brodus Clay or whatever it might be. You can drop it down in the comments. Look, I've taken a lot of notes. You guys will be proud of me so that I have a good interview for you guys and we can get some great information from Tyrus about his upcoming show. And remember to keep letting us know down there. If you got stars, hit the stars button. You may have free stars that you can give to your favorite talk show host. Am I a talk show host yet? I'm getting close. It's not what I care about, but hey, it is a lot of fun just hanging out with all you guys. So let us know where you're watching from. Hit that stars button because they may be free. If they are, that would be exciting. How about them balls? Yee. Let me talk to Coach Tony. Hey, Coach Tony, how about them balls? He's nodding yes. Did you almost give us all a heart attack the other night? Yes. All right, Charlotte. She wasn't there. She was at second annual Summer Music Festival. Yes. And it was great. Good. So Miss Courtney was there. They had that Sunbright Music Festival, second annual one. She does a phenomenal job with the music department up there in Sunbright. As most of y'all know who are watching, most of y'all are locals. Hey, Storm Hammonds from Nashville, Tennessee. Yee, live action. So I went to Wartburg. I'm a Bulldog at heart. I'm a little biased, but I love the Bulldogs. We lived in Sunbright for just a couple years, and so our kids did extracurriculars up there because we're homeschooled. So, but they did extracurriculars, and that's where Courtney taught them all how to play instruments. Miss Courtney Ross. Her husband, Aaron Ross, is a great park ranger up at the Frozen Head State Park. I guess I'm telling you way too much information about a family that may not want me to tell you that, but it's okay. They're exciting. Okay, folks. Well, I won't keep the man of the hour on the line while we're sitting here hanging out. I see he has popped up here because he knows how to use his computer skills. So he is sitting in the waiting room. If you can hear me, big guy, give me a thumbs up. All right. So we are going to bring, without further ado, we got Tyrus here with us. Let's bring this up here. What's up, Tyrus?
How are you?
What's that?
So how you doing?
Living a dream. How are you doing?
Maintaining.
Hey, that's good. I like that big old belt you got there.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
So how long
have you giving it up?
So this Saturday, so we got Tyrus on because this Saturday he's going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee, the greatest place on earth, might I add, Tyrus. And going to be
I love your mayor.
Going to be, yeah, he's almost as big as you are.
Yeah, I wouldn't be where I'm at in my job today if it wasn't for his influence. Well, great. His locker room talks and stuff, man. Where he made me think about money, being fiscally responsible. All that stuff came from the great Kane, Mr. Mayor Jacobs, if you will.
Yes. Absolutely. I've got my picture on the other side of the desk there with him, and he's a foot taller than me, so he's a big guy.
Yeah.
And a phenomenal mayor.
Doing a good job.
So,
we need more like him.
Yeah, it's not hard. He gives anybody lessons that'll listen to him, like That's you true. Said. So, I'm not. Where are you calling in from, Tyrus? Are you in?
I'm in New York. So I'm getting ready for the Great Gutfeld show, and I actually got an interview with Piers Morgan today. So I'm going to go overseas for a minute virtually, and I guess they want me to talk about what's going on in UNK, but I got to stay focused on what's going on over here. So.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, over there at they just had that big jubilee for the Queen over there.
Yeah, so he's excited.
Yeah.
We're different. We don't get down like that.
Yeah,
But I'm
we
not
took
gonna
care.
pick on him because he's sensitive about it. I don't need a feud with Piers Morgan, but
We'll just let
I'm
him know
talking about his queen.
we took care of that in 1776,
Yes, we
and
did.
we decided we didn't want a king, so George Washington voluntarily only went for 2 terms.
Yeah.
So I watched, and they do have this admiration for the royal family, which was it's gleeful. It's fun to watch how much they adore her, but it just we don't put that much stake in
We
one
don't.
person.
We don't even love our sports teams that much, and we love our sports teams. But when our sports teams are bad, we also let them know it.
Oh yeah.
So that's the closest thing I can put to it. Is I guess royalty is like their favorite sport.
Well, speaking of sports teams, so when you come to Knoxville, you do realize that you're coming to town where we have the #1 baseball college team in the history of college baseball, right?
Now, I went to school in the University of Nebraska, and I'm pretty sure just about every World Series there was a representative there from was either LSU, my home state of Louisiana, or Tennessee had somebody up there. So you guys are known for. My son just made his first All-Star game, so
Oh,
uh,
exciting.
yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. So he's got his game coming up on the 24th. So I'm paying attention to the stuff because it starts. He's only 10, but um, I'm already getting the weird calls. I'm like, yeah, I understand he's 5'8", but he's 10, sir. He's 10.
Yeah, they want that birth certificate, don't they?
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of
Yeah.
that. I'm like, talk to him. He'll answer all questions when everything ends with Dragon Ball Z. So.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, I tried to take some notes so I would know what I was doing here. You're the biggest celebrity we've had so far on the show. We're kind of new to this podcast thing, but
About to say you're new if I'm the biggest celebrity, but I'll take
hey,
it.
no, it's good. You may be the greatest one we ever want. We might just stop at Tyrus.
Oh, I'll take it.
That's funny. Okay,
Don't tell
Tyrus. So
Trevor Murdoch that. You hurt his feelings.
we don't want anybody that size on our bad side.
You
So we
got
don't
it.
want to hurt their feelings. Okay, so we have people that'll probably asking some questions while they're online. They're typing the comments because
Right.
we're live on Facebook and all that. I'll try to read some of those later if they come up. But let's talk about the World Television Championship title that you're going up against. Who are you going up against this?
Now I'm
Saturday?
defending my World Television Championship against Mims, as he calls himself, Big Strong Mims. But I also like to call him little Tyrus because he's shorter than me, but he's a powerhouse and he's probably the most improved NWA talent there has been since the time we met before. I think it was maybe a year ago, and it didn't go too well for him. But since that time, he's improved. He's gotten a lot more experience, so he's dangerous. He's strong. He's smart, and he dresses better than the first time I met him. And since I've come to the NWA, they talk about the best form of flattery sometimes is when somebody copies you. And I just happen to notice a change in his attire is very Tyrus-like, and even his color schemes. And like I said, it's imitation is the greatest form of flattery. But what you won't be able to imitate is Goodnight Irene on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's good. We'll be there watching live.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'll
It's
also
gonna
do
be
a
a
book
full house,
signing
I
there
think.
too that night. I'll be doing a book signing early, so if you guys got time, stop by.
Yeah, so you've got a VIP. I think people that are watching right now, there's still tickets available for the VIP, which is Tyrus going to be signing his memoir, Just Tyrus, before the show. You want to tell
And
us
there'll be
about
books
that?
available there too if you don't, because I know it's been tough with it being sold out. There are back end shelves they're filling up now, but the NWA Billy Corgan pulled some strings because apparently he knows somebody
Yeah,
or somebody's.
imagine that.
He's only the Smashing Pumpkins lead singer, but and
Hold
our
on,
boss.
time out. Wait, time out. So let's talk about Billy Corgan for a second at Smashing Pumpkins. So you and I are talking about something because I seen you're born in 73.
Right.
I was born in 82. So I came up in the 90s. You came up a little ahead of me, but around there. So we know who the Smashing Pumpkins are. When they gave you an opportunity to work for Billy Corgan, you're probably like, yeah, that's awesome, right?
No, actually, okay. So I'm gonna keep it real with you because first of all, I like all your flags in the back. You get it.
Hey, I
But
appreciate it.
the second thing is, so when I was in Impact, that's when the first time I met Billy Corgan. And I am as old school in terms of wrestling history as it gets. And I kind of had the Gorilla Monsoon philosophy when celebrities came into the wrestling world. This is not the time when celebrities were allowed to look good. This was the time when you had the great like Muhammad Ali, who ends up getting airplane spin and dumped on his head. And Gorilla said, "You didn't know wristwatch from wrist lock." So that was always been my philosophy when I've seen celebrities like, you're coming in our world. Why should we do things for you? So, and I was skeptical and was very high and by at first. Like, hey, what up, man? Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, I have your album. Cool, good for you. Congratulations. Why are you here? You know, and within a very short time, his wrestling knowledge and love for the sport came out, and his respect for the sport. And before I knew it, I was a Billy Corgan guy, or William Corgan now, as he likes to be, as he says to everybody. But and he stepped in and he basically saved Impact from going under. And then unfortunately, the wrestling business sometimes there's more stuff going on in the back than ever goes in the ring. But when they had their split and he went about his way, and when he brought the NWA in, and I saw that he was running the NWA, I was like, well, if he's running it, and when I heard he had Pat Carney with him, I'm like, I'm in. Just
Yeah,
because.
And the NWA, Tyrus, is really one of the oldest wrestling alliances there is in the country anyway.
Yeah, I mean, historically, I mean, you can make an argument about Georgia championship and Florida championship, but they all worked together. They all collaborated together and everything, but they still all recognized as the heavyweight championship was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. You're the Florida Heavyweight Champion, Georgia, but they were all trying to get the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So it is, if it's not the oldest, it's definitely the most prestigious. I would make that argument. So, and anybody who grew up watching it loves the fact that not only did Billy bring it back, he brought it back as it was, which I think makes it what's old is new and makes it different. And everyone who sat up in front of that TV as close as they can, watching it on Saturday mornings on Superstation TBS or in the afternoons at 5 p.m. right before the Braves game came on, you knew all about the history and stuff, and even the style where the roster is a bigger, more physical roster than probably any other wrestling company in this sport. So we're different, we're old school, but at the same time, we're physical, and I think that's our niche.
Yeah, that's great. We had the Smoky Mountain Wrestling here in East Tennessee. And so the NWA was a big part of that back when you had those territories, the Ohio Valley and all those other ones. And so Ricky Morton is still very active here in the area, and I'm sure you know
the ageless one.
Yes. I see him. I ran a little promotion here about 7 years ago, and Ricky came to wrestle for us, and I was like, is this guy, almost 60 years old, or is this guy still like, 25 or 30 years old? I mean,
you can't put a number on him, Austin Idol, Ric Flair. You just can't put a number on them. They're like, they're best described as Peter Pan, man. They just don't age.
Yeah, give us some of that juice, right?
I don't even think I want it.
Yeah, no kidding. So, okay, well, let's talk about your kind of your wrestling career. So you've went through, you got your break in WWE. Tell us about how that came along.
Yeah, Tommy Dreamer discovered me. It was a bar fight in a club that I was bodyguarding at or bouncing at, and these two guys started some mess, and I did this thing that I call the suitcase. They put hands on me first. Let me just put that out there. Statute of limitations have run out, but they put their hands on me first, and they didn't do a very good job of it. So I clunked their little heads together. And when the two of them hit the ground, the way they went down is like their heads were on the ground, and heads down, asses up, the only way to describe it. So I pick them up by their belt, and I call it the suitcase. And I walk them out like that. I carry them out. So I had one on each arm, and Tommy Dreamer was sitting there with his mouth open, and he said, "I'd never seen that before. You need to do that on TV." I was like, "Yeah, right." I said, "You know what? You got a better shot of me hiring you to work here with me than you do you hired me to get into WWE." And he was like, "I'm the head of talent. I do the hiring." I said, "Oh, so am I. So would you like a job? You could work for me." And Tommy Dreamer, because he's an OG, he finished the night. He finished the night as a bouncer at Saddle Ranch, where he worked the club the rest of the night just to show me what kind of guy he was. And when someone does something like that, where after that, whatever he said, I believed him 100%. And about 2 months later, he called me up. He's like, "Hey, believe it or not, they like your look. They want to give you a tryout." And I was just like, "What?" And that's how I ended up in McDonough, Georgia. And John Laurinaitis and Bill DeMont gave me a look, and they said, "Listen, lose 50 pounds, we'll give you a deal." So I dropped 100 and got my behind the camp, and the rest was it was a bumpy history, but a history.
Yeah, but you've kind of climbed the ladder, kind of the successful ladder from a rough childhood. I didn't get to read your book yet, but I've watched some interviews and some different excerpts that they talked about. And I guess you grew up in Jersey and had
Oh
some
no, I grew
hard
up in
times.
I was in Lynn, Massachusetts for a little
Okay.
while, and then California.
Okay.
But yeah, East Coast, yeah, lower side,
I don't
not a
want to
lot of
say this, but
economic success.
well, where we're from, if you get north of, say, the Tennessee line, I mean, everybody's a Yankee, and it's just kind of
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it
You
all
guys gotta
blends
let that go,
together.
man. You gotta let that go. We're because the East Coast got so many. I mean, if you're from New York, you can't be from Boston. You're from Jersey, you
Oh
can't be
yeah.
from either or. Like the turf war of like where you're from, New Hampshire is something else totally different. So you know, it's everywhere. It's not just you guys. It's everywhere.
Okay,
But yeah,
good. We're
that's how I
not
got set in
different.
my teams.
Okay, so let's talk about that adversity and how you overcame adversity to not only become successful in the wrestling world, but now you've wrote a memoir. You're a Fox News contributor, and so tell us about all that.
Well, the biggest thing is, and I'm sure you know this because getting to where you are, you had to go through a lot of no's and a lot of you ain't got it. And you know, for me, it was whether it was a ethnicity thing or a tattoo thing or a size thing or whatever the hell they wanted to put it on me. I just never accepted no. And I never let anyone else's opinion of me decide my destiny. And I've been told no a few times hard. I mean, my first experience with the WWE, I was in Canada and I went to the WWE office there, and a guy named Carl DeMarco looked at me and laughed and said, I don't see it. You're wasting my time. Have a good day. So I didn't even get a chance to even say 3 or 4 words. That was it, done. So at that point, I guess I should have just given up. But I was just thinking to myself, he don't know me, and that has a lot to do with it. And accepting failures. I think you gotta fail a lot. That's one thing you got to get off. You got to try. You got to get those life lessons. You got to take those bumps in the world, and you got to learn from them. And I talk about in the book. My grandmother gave me a piece of advice once. She's like, it's not what the people do to you, it's the reaction that you're judged by. So someone calls your name and you lose it and punch them, everyone's going to remember you losing it and acting a fool. Or someone tells you you can't do something and you don't do it. Is it them or is it because you quit? So the book is a lot about owning your own stuff, being honest with yourself. And sometimes you don't paint yourself in a pretty light, and that's okay. The one thing I think we've lost right now in this culture war we're in is redemption and accountability. People should be allowed to make mistakes and redeem themselves. And my book is all about redemption and redeeming. And I took life lessons the hard way. For some reason, I just couldn't figure it out being told. I had to go through it. I had to get scars and bumps along the way. And what I found with this book, especially the success of it being number 1 in Amazon and New York Times bestseller and all that stuff, is that more important to me is that when I read all the reviews, is a lot of people share the same insights. Their experiences were different, some not as extreme, some more, or whatever the case, but the same merit was there, and it was all about standing the test of time and fighting forward. So it's a quick read, and that's one. I mean, I'm glad about that. So and people read it too. If you read it, it takes about, I think the average is like 2 days. They get through it pretty quickly because, quote, they can't put it down, and I'll take that
Yeah.
because it wasn't easy to write.
Well,
But
figuratively speaking, they can't put you down in the ring, and they can't put your book down, so it kind of works out.
yeah, kind of where, and I'll take it. I'll take it. If there's
Yeah.
ever,
Right. So
uh,
I heard in one of the interviews I seen you do, you talked about how your book had sold out, and really that may have interfered with just how high that book would have went when it launched, because they underestimated just how popular Tyrus is and how much of the redemption story that you have in your book. People want to read
like,
that.
yeah, I mean, they made 50,000 copies, I think, and it sold out in 2 hours.
Wow.
And like I said, being number 1 in Amazon was shocking, and I was like, wow. And I think I made it to number 8 before I ran out of books at New York Times bestseller. But number 2, and like all the number, but all I was looking at was reviews and stuff. And when I saw like number 1 best, I've been number 1 best wrestling book, I think, for like, I don't know, since this thing started. But um, the numbers are great, but a lot of that stuff has to do with, like, New York Times has to do with a curation where like they decide who and what, and there is not necessarily a rhyme or reason. It has something to do with book sales and something to do with who your publisher is and whatnot. It's political, just like anything else. And the only number I cared about was Amazon, because that was just raw sales. That's the
Right.
actual people buying your book and reading it, and that's the number that meant so much to me. And the fact that even with being sold out, and in some cases telling them 2 months before they're going to get it, I was getting Still Stay was number one for like 2 weeks, which was unheard of. And then I don't think I've gone out of the top 100, which means people are still buying the book, and that's real because the fake stuff, projections, bookstores buy your book. That doesn't mean you're getting paid. So It just means they're buying your book. And then you get a call from your thing going, you just had 700,000 books sold back from the books. So like, do you need any paperweights at your house or stuff?
Or the Dollar Tree? Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah, when you end up at CVS on clearance,
yeah,
it didn't quite go. But again, my goal was just if I could have made the top 500, I've been like, well, I'll keep this writing thing going. So all this stuff was just a testament to the fans, and wrestling fans are powerful. Fox News fans are powerful, and I'm just lucky that both my fan bases watch both. So I'll take it.
So let's talk about the Fox News gig, right? So you find yourself, when I'm watching, it's on right now as I'm sitting here talking to you, and I mean, I watch it pretty much 20. It's really the only thing I watch on TV, unless I'm on Netflix or watching a show with my family or going to see Top Gun, which was incredible. Then I'm
don't spoil alert. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, no words.
Don't do it.
But it was good. It was good.
It'll be over.
But I just wait. Tyrus is going to pop up on the TV, or Greg Gutfield or Tucker. He's one of the favorites right now. And how did that start? How did you get into this political commentary kind of stuff?
So honestly, a lot of it had to do with the mayor. In locker room, we would talk about Daniel Bryant was another guy who was always talking about, saving money and political stuff and diet stuff. Well, our locker room was very different than it wasn't rock and roll like it was in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We were talking about business plans, taxes, fun stuff.
Right.
I think I asked the mayor a couple times if I could, because he has one of those panic rooms underground that you can go hide in with storage and stuff. Yeah, you got room for me in there, and he just get your own. Get your own. No. And here's how you get your own. Diversify your funds. Do this, do that. So, and I make jokes about everything. Everything I do, that's me in the locker room. Like I'm just and who I am on Fox is who I am in the locker room. So I watched Red Eye pretty regularly, and somebody was trolling him. It was like over something stupid. They were trolling Greg over something stupid. And I don't even remember what the joke was, but I made some joke on the guy, and the guy got upset. And Gutfeld thought it was hilarious. And then he messaged me. He's like, hey, man, that was funny, man. You destroyed that guy. And I was like, yeah, and I just kind of looked at like, oh, whatever. And I was driving. Actually, I was on the road with Heath Slater, and he was singing country music because whenever you drive, you get to pick the music. So he was singing his favorite country music song, and I was trying to decide whether I was going to jump out of the car or not, because it wasn't a country western song that was bad. It was him singing. It was killing me. And I saw the message on there, and I just messaged him back, and then he asked me if I want to do the show, and I was like, sure, why not? What's the worst that can happen? But I went there with guns blazing because I'm like, I know what they're trying to do, bring a wrestler on the show and show him how dumb he is. They picked the wrong one. So, but that's not what happened. And then it just kind of like the first commercial break, he's like, man, if you live in New York, I'd make you my co-host. And it was like the same conversation with Tommy Dreamer. And I was like, well, if you lived in Florida, you could be my manager. It's like the same thing where, and it just kind of grew from there. And then, of course, the interview when I talked about the difference between resisting arrest and a bad police officer that went viral, and the line that, resisting arrest doesn't make you Rosa Parks, it makes you a criminal. And this is from someone who's been on the wrong side of it. I've been messing with you. I'm sure you have. We've all dealt with the jerk, and not just the police officer, doctors. I mean, there's just bad people with jobs, and the media's ability to try to make it look like it's everywhere when it's nowhere hurts us as a people, as we're seeing now with the crime being so bad everywhere, because they've spit in the face of law enforcement and they realize how much they mean to our community. So hopefully we'll get that fixed. But it was that point where I realized that I had a message. I talk about in the book where I had to kind of learn as I go, and sometimes making jokes about some things doesn't quite work. So it's just to grow. You have to grow. You have to get better. Yeah. And that's really what has, and then of course what has turned in today. Again, I'm still looking in the mirror sometimes going, I think sometimes when I talk to my wrestling buddies, they're like, I don't take it the wrong way, man, but like, you don't even wear a suit. And I'm just like, no, first of all, they don't fit right. I don't like them. And none of them match my hat. So, take me as I am. And Fox News has done that. So
is that a Yankees hat?
No, it is not. I'm a Red Sox fan. But
Oh, so
my son just
definitely
made
not.
his first All-Star game, and he's played for the Orlando Pirates. So this is a Pirates hat I'm rocking right now. This is a proud
Okay.
dad hat today.
So when you're on the Gutfield show in the evening times, and you're on the other when you do like the 5, or you're doing the Outnumbered with Harris Faulkner and those, are you flying into New York to do those? You're living in
I'm in New
Florida?
York. I'm in New York probably right now. I'm in New York pretty much 3 to 4 days a week. So I can do some stuff remote, but with Gutfeld, we're being on 5 nights a week, and they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So I'm on 4 off 3, but that's just the nature of the beast right now. So I get a lot of work done. Flying in every day or flying in for 2 days a week and then flying back and forth just got to be too much. They gave me an office so I could play my Xbox and watch my wrestling films, which drives all these serious people crazy. Because I do a lot of film study for everything, and it didn't with football, wrestling, and news is the same thing. Preparations, everything. I got to watch everything, and some of it's brutal to watch, but you got to know where everyone's coming from before you give your 2 cents. At least that's the way I've always done it. So I'm here a lot. And in the NWA schedule works really well with my Fox News schedule. So that's why I'm able to still compete full time for the NWA.
But even here, when you're talking about film study, I mean, we're having this interview. It's going smooth. You've got a lot to say. I can ask some questions, but there's people that I'll interview, and they have yes or no answers, and it's tough. And if you don't do that prep work before you go on a show or learn how to interview folks, then you can be sitting there in some very awkward moments.
Oh yeah, being that we've had some guests like that, and or you have somebody who has a narrow mind, and they only want to ask you like, so what's the deal with wrestling? I don't know, what's the deal with your job? Like,
Right, right. What's
saying?
the
Like,
deal?
why do you wrestle? Why don't
Hey,
we?
who was the
Like,
guy that smacked John Stossel right in the jaw when he said
yeah,
that?
there was a reason that happened.
Yeah.
And I got a whooping that night, but it was worth it because my mother sat me down to show me wrestling was fake.
Right.
Because previous to that, I had thrown a temper tantrum when Mr. Wonderful got robbed of the heavyweight championship because his feet came down first in the blue steel cage. And like, I wasn't supposed to be up. It was 11:30 at night, and I snuck up to watch my favorite wrestler, and I woke the whole house up screaming no. And she made me watch it. And just when she was this close to have me say, "Mama, you know what? I think you're right." But then when he smacked him, and he says, "That feel fake to you?" And then he smacked him again, and I turned, I looked at her, and see, told you. And then when she smacked me on the back of the head, I was like, "See, it's real." And she was like, "Go to bed. You're banned from wrestling." She took the thing off the TV so I couldn't watch it, but she still couldn't stop me because I found pliers. So
And that's back when it was a floor set, right? The
oh yeah.
wooden
Well, no, we
ring.
had one on top of the broken one.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay. So
That's some poor folk back then, right?
we didn't know. I didn't know until I got to college I was broke. I really
Right.
didn't. I was like, cars.
I was talking about that with a guy today about the Great Depression. And back then, people didn't know they were poor. So like even down south, the Great Depression comes through, everybody's already poor. So what are you talking about? Oh, we just got a few extra people in line with us to get the food rations.
Exactly. Yeah. It
And
wasn't
so
until I went to school that I was like, hey, somebody was slacking in my house.
yeah. But so you mentioned Mr. Wonderful being your favorite back then. So did you grow up watching wrestling all the time?
All the time. American Dream Dusty Rhodes is my all-time favorite, and he was my mentor. So it was nice that I got a chance to meet him. But I watched wrestling. My morning was Saturday morning started with I'd get up, breakfast. I could literally every morning it was my mom doing the vacuum cleaner and me leaning as close as I could to the TV because the vacuum was loud.
Yeah,
I dare not say turn it off. And then I get yelled at because I was going to burn my eyes out. And then I'd go outside and play around 4 o'clock. I don't care what I was doing. Oh, gotta go. Superstation TBS is coming on, and I'll get in there just in time.
So did you watch Nitro or Raw? I mean, did you try to watch
no. This is back when it was on Saturdays. Now, when Nitro and Raw was going on, I had 2 TVs going. I had wired up in high school. I had wired up the 2 because you had to watch both at the same time.
Yeah.
Which again, the ability, the amount of work I put in to watch 2 things at the same time, and then was getting C's in chemistry, and it just blew my mother's mind. Like, wait a minute, you'll sit there and rewire TVs and everything else to watch wrestling, but you won't take the time to do a lab. You need to figure it out. So,
well, everybody learns differently. Just like that's part of you overcoming adversity. When you try to see a silver lining and everything, the fact that you were able to wire 2 TVs together to be able to watch Raw and to be able to watch Nitro. When
I'm not alone. You check there's a few people going, I did that.
Well, and here's the thing. Until the invasion in Atlanta, when Triple H and the crew came in, the Generation X, I mean, that was when I remember you're 10 years older than I am, around that number. So that was the biggest deal to me ever. NWO, and then when Raw invaded Nitro, and it was like, oh my gosh, the world is ending.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was great TV. I think and it's obviously it's different now. I don't think you can ever get that era is probably, and I think hands down, you can make an argument about Hogan's era, but the Attitude Era probably was the greatest era for all wrestlers because it didn't really matter whether you opened or closed, the place was going nuts for you. So that would be my argument. If you're gonna, because the '80s, I mean, that's why everyone was in it. Whether it was Macho Man or Steamboat or Hogan or Flair or Dusty or the Four Horsemen. I mean, it didn't matter who you. I'm growing up in California and I'm sitting on the bus going like this to people, and everybody knew what it meant.
Right,
so
the Four Horsemen. That's right.
Yeah, so the Four Horsemen were everywhere. And the Heenan family and Ultimate Warrior, everyone went nuts for him. But and Steamboat, everybody wanted to be like Ricky Steamboat. So and it was just a great era. And now we have so much diversity now. And because we have wrestling, we have sports entertainment, and there's enough room for everybody. And NWA is wrestling, and our roster is a lot bigger than everybody else. So there'll be less triple Lindy's, but more physical stuff and more holds. So it's a good niche for us.
Great. Well, Tyrus, I won't take more of your time. I'm sure you got other things to do, but we appreciate you coming on the show. And
anytime, man. I'm sitting in my office playing my Xbox half the time, man, doing film studies. So anytime you guys want to shoot it, just hit me up.
Oh, we appreciate that, man. I might take you up on that sometime. We're looking forward to seeing you Saturday, and that's NWA Always Ready.
The next time you'll see me, I'll still have this.
Okay, we'll see about that. I mean,
we will.
We're going to be cheering for you. For anybody that's watching right now, what we're going to do is get Tyrus. I'll get a book when I'm up there, have him sign it, and then I'll give that away to somebody that's watching the show right now.
Guarantee it, man. You know what? I'll bring a couple too, so you give away a few. So
okay.
I'll bring you get one. I'll bring you 3. So then you get 4. How about 4 giveaway? That sounds fair.
Oh, great! You guys heard that straight from Tyrus. Tyrus, we appreciate it, man. Good luck Saturday.
All right.
All right, folks. Wow, what an interview, man. Highlight of my day. It's a Tuesday. The week is just getting started, and it has started off with a bang. So Saturday, if you guys haven't got your tickets yet, you can get them at NWA Always Ready. I'm going to show you the graphic here. I didn't want to put it over Tyrus, but here's the show. Here's his match that'll be there. So obviously he's gained a few new fans here while y'all have been watching that. I mean, we've learned so much from Tyrus today, and he's a big fan of Glenn Jacobs, and that's where he's got a lot of his worldview from. He learned from him, and he developed his own, as each of you should. You should study and see which works for you. It's America. You can do your own thing. And so he's up there in New York right now and going to be on the Gutfield show later today. So make sure you tune into that on Fox News. And we are so excited about having him. He's going to give us some books to give away. He's going to sign them. So we'll have those next week on the show to be able to give away for those of you who watched the show. But here is his. So that is the NWA Always Ready match. Always Ready, pay-per-view. And so he is taking Mims. And as he said, the greatest form of flattery is imitation, and Mims tries to be a lot like Tyrus. So I'd say Tyrus is going to give him the 5-knuckle shuffle and give him a good throwdown on Saturday night. And we're going to be going live from NWA Always Ready. We got our crew going to be there covering the show. We know you guys love your wrestling. The only thing I forgot to ask him about was what's the best dad joke he has, because we need to get some good ones. But he gave us an open invitation to have him on the show again, so maybe we can do that. Maybe he can hook us up and get Greg Gutfield on here too. So let's see what everybody's saying. How'd y'all like the interview? Let us know right there. Ralph, hey, Charlotte, hey, Chris, hey, Talent, hey, Tony. We hope everybody's doing great that's watching the show right now. It was an honor for us to be able to interview Tyrus. Hey, Aunt Lisa, good to see you. And let's see who else is watching. Hey, Jana, what's up, Spank? Who's the best person you have ever worked with? I had that on the list to ask him, and I completely didn't do it. I got a little excited there. Didn't want to keep him on forever. So, but the good news is we'll have him back. So, man, could talk to him all day. He just sits and talks. That's great. That's great. So how's everybody else doing? Anybody got some stars you want to throw down there? Anybody interested in winning one of those books? You want Tyrus's book, Just Tyrus. We're going to put a link to Just Tyrus. Let me pull this up. We'll put a link there, and you guys can go ahead and get that book off of Amazon. Just Tyrus. I'm fixing to put a link up. You guys can go pull that. It's just $18, $18.18. You can get the Kindle version for $15. Of course, you can't get the Kindle version signed. So let me put the link here for you guys. It's the middle of the day. Who would have thought we were going to have an interview with a WWE, NWA, Fox News superstar right there in the middle of the day? But we did, right? We sure did. I'm trying to copy and paste this link. I think I can here. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there's the link to the book. You guys can go click on that and go get the book now. Let him know how much we love him down here in East Tennessee. Seems like a really great guy, and we're so excited to be able to watch him on Saturday. So the other stuff that we got, I sent you a link there, Talent Gumbo in Zimbabwe. You can buy that too. Hey, you can watch all the way from Zimbabwe right here in Wartburg, Tennessee. We have a great show for you planned out next week. We are doing some investigative journalism work. We're going to start looking into the election here in Morgan County because we're just 6 weeks away, and we want to make sure everybody is informed. We've sent questionnaires to the candidates for county executive. We're going to be getting those back by Monday to print those. We're also going to be doing a debate with those. Brian and Mark coming up. We're waiting on Brian to give us a firm date. Mark said he's good anytime. So we are ready to do that. So you guys can answer questions and all those things. That'll be coming up here soon. But next week we will have the Tyrus books to give away, and we're excited about that. So how's everybody else doing out there? Charlotte, you want a book? George, you want a book too? Oh, yes. It's going to be good. And Chris wants a book? Y'all can hit those stars button and see if it lets you give any. I can't see on here. But if you give stars, just let us know. All right, Charlotte. We got you covered. I know, Charlotte. So, did anybody else go to Muddin on the Mountain or the Sunbright Music Festival event over the weekend on Saturday? And you guys know I'm looking at the camera now, right? But like over here to my left, I guess that's your right. That's my computer screen. So that's where I can see all the comments. So when I'm looking over here talking to you, I'm actually feel like I'm looking straight at you this way. Hey, Matt. And then actually I can see you here just in the camera. I just can't see the computer. Anyway, semantics. This is beta test number 8. We're getting close for the real launch, but that was a big, huge way to get into the system here with Tyrus and get this stuff pumping and rolling. And we're excited that everybody could be here with us. We won't keep you much longer. We've got so much more to talk about. But remember, on June 24th coming up, we have the MoCo Today's Lift-a-thon for the Wartburg Central Football, where they're going to be fundraising for the Central football team. We also have on the 25th of June, we have the MoCo Today's Miss Independence pageant, the biggest pageant ever in Morgan County. $1,000 to the winner. So if you've got family, friends, neighbors, or you want to be in the pageant, then make sure you get a hold of our pageant director and let her know. Or you can go to the Facebook page and you can pull that up, okay? That is the MoCo Today's Miss Independence pageant on June the 25th. And then we also have coming up on the 4th of July, of course, they'll have the Deer Lodge Parade and some other fireworks in other places. We got the races coming up, big races continuing to go on. The Drew Kennedy Memorial Race will be coming up in August. We got a lot of stuff going on in Morgan County. Be blessed. Feel great that you live on the greatest place in the world right here. And so Tyrus talked about Mayor Jacobs up there in Knoxville. No, he's not putting me through a table, Matt. No, sir. That's not happening. But Glenn Jacobs, we'll try to get him on the show so we can talk about that and what kind of shape our world is in. I don't know if you guys seen the gas lately, but Lord have mercy. I thought Snoop Dogg and Willie Nelson done passed by that sign and gave it a touch. It was so high. You know what I'm saying? $4.59. Can somebody get us a tank of gas out there. We're all going to be in the line before we know it. All right, folks. Well, I love all you guys. I'm glad you tuned in. We will be coming to you live again. Actually, I think we got a special show coming up on Thursday. I almost forgot. Thursday, we're going to be going live on Thursday night. And guess who we have with us? We got Morgan County native Ethan Lively is going to be here as a musical guest. He's going to be playing some music because on June 11th, on Saturday, the same night as Always Ready, by the way, they have a music show coming up that Ethan is going to be playing at with Swap Thing Michael Earls. I'm not sure what his stage name is, but he's a friend of ours. But they're going to be here Thursday night. It's the first time we're going to have in-studio guests. So we're going to see how that goes. It'll be beta number 9, but we'll be having guests inside the show, inside the studio here, which is just my office, my cluttered office right now. But we're going to see. I'm going to pull up NWA, Always Ready, and put the link here so you guys can get tickets if you don't have them already. They're reasonable prices. If you want to do the VIP and meet Tyrus in person, just let him know you saw him on our interview. I'm sure he would appreciate that. So you can get tickets for as low as $20, and there's a huge lineup, okay? Matt Cardona is the NWA heavyweight champion, the most prestigious championship in all of America. As Tyrus was talking about that, even in Florida, in Georgia, and all these other places where they had titles, they wanted the NWA World Championship title because that's just the way it is. So you can get the tickets there. I believe you can still get VIP tickets for Tyrus's book signing. You can scroll down to the bottom of that page, and you should see that there. Yeah. So the book signing, Tyrus, a memoir, limited copies will be available to be signed before the show. 8x10 prints will also be available for purchase. So you can get him to sign a photo there too. So we are excited about that and look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday. And then on the 25th of June, that weekend of the Miss Independence pageant, we're going to the NASCAR race in Nashville. Breaking news, we have 4 tickets to the Xfinity race on Saturday night that will be given away. 4 tickets that will be given away for the Xfinity race in Nashville. That's coming up on June the 25th. So we'll be putting a contest up on our page about that here soon. We're just trying to help all you folks out. We love you guys and want to be good to you guys and give back to our community. So, man, I'm talking a million miles an hour, but I got so much to talk about. Okay, folks. Well, for now, that's going to be it because we're going to have another show on Thursday. So make sure you share this with all your friends so they can watch Tyrus and we can get some good views out there. Okay, everybody have a great day and God